Yo, what's good? It's me, it's Domino. It's been a while since our last unit discussion. Lots has happened. A lot of new units have come up. A couple of good ones got buffed, a couple didn't. Game's changed a lot since the last one of these long maps only. All short maps got fucking blown away. Aqua HMT happened. Tomeos happened. So yeah, let's hop right into it because this might be a bit. So going from the most recent since my last one, we got the armored crawler. This was the Was it task force? Yeah, this was the task force unit. It's a pretty good boy. I personally love this thing. Its initial stats are kind of low, like that HP is pretty bad at a glance. But if you notice here, it doesn't have a single HP skill, meaning it really benefits from our now allotted 3 HP buffs, meaning his HP is a little more than a million, maybe I think 1.3 million, I think. So yeah, he's a lot buffer in PM decks than he is in mixed. It's pretty cool. The screws are kinetic, the drills, whatever you want to call them. If you've seen my last 2 videos, you know that rushing this thing out early game, this unit dominates the whole early game on its own. The only thing that stands a chance is Walker getting that crazy evade, since if a Walker is being hit by the drill, it has to rely on its own evasion. It doesn't get a chance to use its invincible close range, since the drills are not considered units. That, or the fucking drills get buggy and the fucking unit just goes through it as if it's not there, which is shit happens. But for the most part, this is a fantastic unit. It's a great unit in PM. It's also a great unit against PM, since comes with a good knockback. Long maps only help keep this thing alive. And hell, even if you get one of the shorter maps, it's pretty good, since the drills just fucking zip on there to hopefully their base. I think this is a great unit. The only things it needs to watch out for are kinetic, which at the moment are from enemy Tomeos, Avatar of Evil, Victoria. She's still around, guys. She's a great option for mix to just poke, since depending on the map, she still spreads silence, and silence along with heavy hitting, kinetic, and fire. So unfortunately, one of the weaknesses to this thing. But other than that, I think this is a fantastic unit. Doesn't mind being silenced. It has pretty good barrier against what is fairly common. Elysion, from what's his name? Fucking Solderoker. Various explosion, fire hitting. But yeah, I personally love Armored Crawler. If you run PM, you should definitely consider running this thing. It's great. Then right after that, we got the 17 million totem. This thing has definitely changed how the game runs. This totem is pretty fucking bulky. It has 4 to 5 forms. 4 or 5, I don't fucking care. It does very pitiful damage, but that's not the point of it. The point of this thing is to just stall. It just sits there and it will buy you a lot of time to combo with its newest friend, Tara, the original Tara. Still never leaving. And as obviously, if you've seen my videos, you know that my strat is for 80% of my games open with totem, AP gain, then Tara, and then bam, send out whatever I feel like. Honestly, not too much to say here. Totem is just really fucking stupid. But as I feel like it's a good kind of stupid. It's there to help promote the longer game runs, since you can't really base cheese anymore outside of literally one strat that involves going Tara to your own miner and then your Aqua HMT, and even then you kind of need Aqua HMT plat, and you know, if they throw up a fake wall, well, your strat falls apart because you wasted all your AP on Aqua. So you know, you gotta. Anyways, case in point, 17 million totem is really fucking good. It's an impressive stalling unit. It just sits there. It's got multiple forms, so even like you can't even nuke it in one go, since if, for example, if Alicia tries to special it, whoops, it changed form, so now the other form has some iframes while it's changing. So if you run PM, please switch to totem over Volt Electric Barrier. Volt Electric Barrier is still good, but it's more vulnerable to the early game, so Golden Arab just doesn't care. He'll fucking punch that shit. Any PF early game will just punch that shit too in one go. It can't get rid of Walker either. Sure, it kills Taro immediately, but it's like, cool, it killed Taro immediately. But in a weird kind of usage kind of thing, you kind of want Taro near your miner unit, so that way Taro can leave faster, so that you can then get your AP faster to send out to kill Taro, because Taro doesn't fucking matter after the first one, maybe the second one, but if you can, you know, you get your AP and Totem's still there, then you're good. Totem could sit there for the rest of the game and contribute nothing. It did its job. But yeah, Totem is fucking amazing. Please, please, please use this thing. If you run PM, it basically covers your defense super well. Hell, even if you run mix, this thing's still annoying. So yeah. Alright, so after getting some cool, fun units, we get a really bad, a really one. Special Mizuna. Special Mizuna is an interesting staller. He's got a, let's see, where is it? 69% evasion. 69% evasion is hype. His AP cost is not for the role that you would want him to use, which is kind of like a walker or even parasite kind of role, where he just lives to annoy by just constantly just being in iframes. Another thing he has going against him is his evasion keeps him still, which is it's 69%, yes, but it literally keeps him still, and that is he can't help you. His damage is it's okay at best, but he can't move forward once he's in invasion loop, which, you know, sounds cool, but if you can push, you would rather push. Why only stall if you can't stall and kill, you know? Special Mizuna just feels like filler. Don't consider him, even if his special is just HP regeneration. There's just little reason to stall when you can push and stall at the same time with our next unit. Tomeos if I don't know what the fucking IF stands for. iframe, I guess. So Tomeos iframe is a fucking godsend. What this dude does is he has 0 HP skills, which means he also benefits from triple HP like Armored Crawler. He hits like a fucking truck with his special. This shit is kinda nuts. What the special does is he summons a fake wall 600 away from him, and if it happens to kill anything, he does it again. And it keeps going on and on as long as he keeps killing something. And it's kinetic. Hey, the sexy attribute. His 34.5 evasion doesn't sound like it's that much, but hilariously, it lasts a really long fucking time. So that's heavily appreciated, especially against units like Maya, who used to plague PM. Used to be a, well, guess I gotta fucking die against Maya, but thanks to Tomeos, he kind of solved that on his own, since he will happily stall Maya while providing good kinetic damage back. His evade does like 90k on plat with triple attack buffs. His summon animation is an attack. His exiting animation is an attack. His long range is a fake wall that puts him in iframes. Honestly, this unit is mandatory in PM. He's even his skill is double speed. Yeah, he gets the first assist plus being 2.6 speed, which doesn't sound super impressive, but it's just universally helpful. It helps make Tara leave super fast, so that he's out of there from the dangers of Alice or Walker Special, I guess, if they still try to do that. It helps him run faster. It makes Mira turn into respectable speed instead of a sloth in a dress. It makes Armored Crawler move quicker to wherever the Taro is. Yeah, he just feels very mandatory. It's crazy. He hits hard, he stalls hard, he gives kinetic damage, kinetic on evasion. He even teams with Mira. It's very convenient. It's like they purposely knew what they were doing. Tomeos, if fucking god tier PM unit, please aim for him on the reproduction and when he comes back, if you don't have him. I think he's probably the most important PM unit next to Avatar of Evil at this time. He's just kind of that good for in PM, especially when you can max out his buffs. Alright, and then we got some units for this expert ops. We got Caroline Bodyguard. It's pretty alright, dude. 102 AP, pretty relatively quick. With Tomeos, he goes up to 7.4 or something. It's pretty good. His long range is pretty alright. It's just a jumping slash. His special is pretty good. It does the Cyborg Amadeus Soldier. Excuse me. Where he just kind of teleports a little bit in front of you, then moves back like an inch. It's not a big jump, but it does kinetic, and with triple buffs, he is able to kill a mixed walker. So that's something worth to consider. Honestly, unfortunately at this time, due to how good Totem is, or hell, even if you do the other strats of like Space Drone, I guess, he just doesn't really get to shine. He has to deal with Totem and he has to deal with Space Drone in terms of the early game, because honestly the only times you would use this dude are, okay, they taroed your miner unit, and then you see them bringing in another miner, so you would want to throw him out there as soon as possible. But I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where it's just like, he'd be a good unit in he'd be a great unit in a different meta, but for now he just feels like an option in PM where you just kind of use him to get out of that one situation, and hilariously the other options for getting out of the Taro to their miner to whatever follow-up they decide is using Sapphire Claw, Space Drone, or hell, using your own miner if you started with Veb with Volt Electric Barrier. So it's like, you know, it's a matter of preference. Like, he hits okay, but he's strictly an early game unit. Like, these stats do not hold up very well. Yeah, He's also only got the 34.5% evasion. He has a pretty good production rate though, so you could throw out 2 of them maybe before things get impossible for him. But yeah, he's an okay unit. He's a matter of preference on what you decide to be your your anti-rush follow-up. And then we have Shooting Ray version Forest. This thing could have been better. It's got a pretty fast rate of fire. Each laser does 18k per tick. It's pretty good. Special does kind of the same. However, you can just kind of block it as well. I don't know. Poison chariots kind of are funny. They just kind of stop the lasers, so the lasers don't even pierce. Does all explosive, that's pretty bad. It's not particularly fast, that's also bad. Doesn't hit particularly hard, also bad. At least it's not very expensive. That's probably the best benefit of it. It's 320 AP plat. It's, usable speed if you somehow didn't go for Screamer, the more preferable explosive damage unit in PM, but what are you gonna do? I don't know. Don't use this unit if you have Screamer. If you have Screamer, there's literally no reason to use this thing. Even if Screamer does cost a little bit more, you'll get much more benefit out of that, as Screamer can provide base poking, as you've seen, and precious attack down, which helps keep your Tomeos and Toa alive. That's pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's just a filler boss unit. What are you gonna do? Not all bosses get the fun Asinero treatment, but, well, it is what it is. At least the rare is somewhat helpful. And then we got a buffed unit here. We got original Phoebe. She got some pretty good buffs. Let's see here. Yeah, 16x, both of these. So yeah, she has a pretty tanky amount of HP. She's got a little bit over 5.6 million. So she's pretty one note in use, and that is you throw out the special and you hope to one-hit KO units. That's kind of it. Yeah, so one single hit of her special will do about 700k unbuffed. With buffs, they'll do a little bit more than that. But the idea is that you use her to hopefully punch any evaders, and that they will die in one hit. It's all explosive though. That's probably the biggest downside to this. It's all explosive damage. So while the number is impressive, if the unit happens to have a barrier against explosive, well, does about 7,000 damage instead. She could also poke base, just the classic. However, long maps only kind of hurt that impact, so she's more of a, I'm gonna try and punch your frontliner that's evading like an asshole. Better not miss. I mean, she does have a counterattack, so she does get some good survival. However, she can be put in evasion loop, kind of annoying. So if she walks into like a mirror fire, or she gets covered in Elysion jellyfish, she's gonna sit there for a while, since she does have a good amount of health. She's a good option if you want to run her for that reason. She still hits like a fucking truck. She will just obliterate things without barrier, and things that unfortunately get hit through evasion. So if you get the god RNG and you punch a unit in the face, they didn't get to evade it. Good shit. I personally don't run her. Deck space is really tight at the moment, but if I had her plat, I'd maybe consider running her, since I do like the reach and it does help kill evaders a lot faster if she works. Good unit that got buffed. Just one note, doesn't do much else other than that, but she doesn't need to, and that's pretty cool. Then the unit that got buffed from this update, Original Garoline. Original Garoline kind of sucks. It's kind of funny that her base attack does 1 million damage. It's like, the fuck? She just smacks you with the controller for 1,000,000 damage. That's kind of stupid. So Shooting Ray does kinetic on special and explosive on long range. Long range sucks ass. It's very slow. It's a short angle. It angles downwards. The special is honestly the moneymaker here. Each bullet does roughly 110k, and it's a lot of bullets. Only downside is the suicide attack is kind of I believe it's explosive. It's Cataline herself is also just slow, lacks evasion. So she is very susceptible to dying, even with this HP buff. Doesn't have much in terms of protection, especially hey, if her shooting ray gets destroyed, then she just leaves. Production's okay. I don't know. If you're really desperate for kinetic, sure, but she needs to be plat. And even then, it's like, I don't know. You're better off saving your status strengtheners. Like 200x is 200x for each is kind of silly. This is such a stupid number to look at. But Cataline, maybe, probably not. And then some small updates here. So we got Kata. Kata is, now that we're in a long map only meta, she has fallen off hard. Big part of that has to do with the fact that Aqua HMT wrecks her shit, and Kara lacks any sort of self-preservation. She's forced with two things: either special and avoid taking damage until she gets to the front line, or try not to special and get beaten up on the way, or die. Aqua HMT will kill her. Will kill her each time. So, kind of makes things really annoying, especially on a long map where you need to pay attention to where your units are and what they're doing. So, yeah, I loved using Kata, but long maps kind of wrecked her. Maybe if she gets a good HP buff where she isn't made out of fucking paper, she'll come back. But in the meantime, she's on the sideline. And the same applies to Believer Guardian too, unfortunately. So something I want to mention is Anastasia 1. So Anastasia 1 is kind of interesting at the moment. She too lacks HP skills, if you haven't noticed. Oh, look at that. So she too, like Tomeos, gets the cool buff bonuses. The thing is, with long maps only, I feel like Anastasia could make a resurgence in PM if you have space for her somehow. When paired with Avatar of Evil, she can quickly burst through enemies due to how good her special that she never gets to use in actual match because of in-game lag. She can actually use it to clear out certain units due to her special doing both kinetic and fire. She does kinetic on the stabs, and then like the final explosion is fire. It's kind of wish they would do dual elements better, but Anastasia 1 could come back into use in PM if you have a 4-star Avatar of Evil, since they synergize very well. Outside of that, you kind of want to be iffy on her. Fake walls will fuck her up as usual. Jane's dropped in use, sure, but Aqua HMT, her unit counts as a fake wall, will push her back, will hold her in place. Lycion also still around, could stun her. It's, her Lycion 69% stun rate. Anastasia honestly benefits more from this meta, but the big issue is just finding the space for her. Also, she needs to be plat to max out that resistance, because you do not want her getting stunned. But hey, if you can combo her with Avatar of Evil, good shit. Take advantage of that 14-second time freeze, and she can burst through most units like that, along with whatever units you happen to have. And let me see. Whoop. Gotta run the magic. Gotta ruin the magic, because I also want to mention one other unit. Let's see, where are you? There we go. So, Sapphire Claw unit. If you've seen my videos, you know that I have this unit in there. As I've alluded to before, it's only there for one purpose, and that's to avoid one certain setup. Otherwise, there's no reason to send this thing out ever with totem. 68 AP and fast movement are its only purpose, along with, you know, this long range that I think if the long range lands on Walker could one hit KO it. Not sure, but it'd only work on mixed Walker, not full faction Walker. I think it's good at that one roll. It's the cheapest unit. It hits. The long range will hit hard. The close range will still punch in Taro shit. But yeah, outside of that one roll, it's not a good unit. But hey, it's a role that needs to be used. It's a role that has to be there. So you might as well, if you need to get rid of that role, you might as well just use it with the cheapest AP unit that's also fast and will do the job most of the time. So that's why I use this thing. All right, and with that, that wraps up this unit discussion. I know it's, like I said, it's been a while. Right now is PM's high point. PM can honestly just do really well this season. Yeah, they just haven't really released any counters to PM yet. And I say yet because, as we all know, everything in this game is circular. What is good for now may not be good later, unless it's completely stupid. And even then, it takes a while to get creeped. But yeah, I think with now that we're able to 4-star our ultimate bosses, Avatar of Evil is definitely giving PM that power strength to not be scared of fucking Maya anymore. And then, you know, next week should probably be another Metal Arena adventure. That should wrap up the month, I believe, before the next update. So yeah, honestly, no if. Yeah, that's all I got. Take care, guys. Laters.